Peace, peace, peace. What's up, everybody? It's Anthony Fallon, Tone Setter Sports Channel. And you see the title. We're going to talk about week 4 game, lost to the Browns, Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to talk about the narrative on Dak um, and how it's being created right now. And I'm going to I'm going to get into that, okay? But let's talk about this game. We don't know what to say other than the fact that this defense cannot hold nobody. It can we say they actually made some stops to allow the Cowboys to get back into the game, or it was more that the well D Ware D Law did make a stop, one stop, third down on the running caught the running back in the backfield. Okay, so that was one play. But for the most part, the Browns stopped themselves and they got cold or whatever. And and uh, and that did allow us to score those 21 points in the fourth quarter or whatnot. Okay, now one thing I will say is because all of this is going to tie in to Dak as well, because it's funny how the sports media is trying to narrate this story on our quarterback Dak Prescott. But we're gonna get to that. But let's talk about the game. One thing that the Dallas Cowboys do have an issue with is where they start off the offense. Okay, yes, we went up 14-7. We was driving the ball, had the strip sack by Myles Garrett, got the ball back. Elliott fumbled the ball, back-to-back turnovers. Okay, so that's 2 drives that's staled out due to turnovers, and then we had 3 more drives that kind of stalemated it as well. But where did they start off? They started off either 25 or at the 25-yard line or less. So that's something that if you go and listen to I think it was the Cowboys report. I think Isaiah Stanback kind of put that stat out there last night, is that the Cowboys always start off at on average at the 23-yard line. So the special teams are not getting the added yardage, because all you gotta do is if the ball get kicked off into into the end zone and you down it as a touchback, you automatically get those 25 yards. So, and if you're gonna run it out, you got to get above the 25-yard line in order for it to be a plus, right? But Dallas always have those long drives. Okay, and anybody that has played football on what level, I don't care how talented or how potent your offense is. I know we're like number 1 in yardage and all of that stuff, but still we don't have the running game. Okay? Still we don't have the running game going. Not like that. You can say due to the offensive line, the reshuffling of that, but something has to be designed that they see in every team per game to get Zeke going. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that if you starting off having to drive 75, 80 yards every drive, it's hard to sustain that. And you're predominantly passing the whole time to move the ball down the field, because the running game is not moving at all. And I think one of the problems is that they should have ran the damn ball, okay? Especially when we had the lead, especially when we got, especially when we was down 3 points. going into the fourth. I mean, or leading up to that, put it like that. Um, but we had to throw our way back into the game, and that's what it took. Okay, that's what it took was for the Browns to miss a few key passes like that overthrow for Odell Beckham that was clearly a touchdown for D-Law to make that third down stop, catching the running back in the backfield. You know, that allowed us to put up some points real fast in the fourth quarter, and eventually going for the 2-point conversion to put us down by 3. But then the debacle on the defensive lap, I don't know what the hell that was, man. With how did Odell Beckham get a 50-yard return on a reverse, on a triple reverse? Uh, that is that was disgusting. That was lack of tackling, lack of discipline, just to get him out to the sideline, to push him out of the side, do something. Uh, Alden Smith, he whiffed on him in the backfield, took a bad angle, where he saw the way that he read it fine. All he had to do was lunge. All he had to do was just lunge. If he knew he wasn't going to catch Odell, just lunge at it. Just lunge at his legs, lunge at his feet. You know what I'm saying? To slow him up. You probably could have got him. Probably could have tripped him up. Something. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that was lack of fundamentals. And I'm going to say this right here. That is not y'all calling for Mike Nolan's head. That is not on Mike Nolan. That is on those players. Okay? That is on those players. You telling me professional players don't know how to tackle? Are not disciplined enough to slow down and to stay in front of Odell Beckham to stop him from going upfield. Do something. All you got to just get a body in the way, and maybe y'all can gain. Somebody else will come in and be able to tackle him from the side. Something. A lot of this is the lack of they don't have it up here. They don't have it up here. This has not been a smart defensive team for years. With this current group that we have, and we have had these guys, some of these guys for 3-4 years. So it is not a veteran team. It's a young team in age, but as far as game experience, a lot of these guys has been playing for us for 2 and 3 years, and some of these guys has been playing longer, especially the free agents that were newly acquired. So you should know how to get the job done. You should know what it takes to put in the work, the studying film on your off days. With this being a new defensive scheme that's being implemented with the new defensive head coach, so you have to put in that extra work. You have to put in that extra work because normally in a normal season you have the OTAs and the preseason and everything like that, but we didn't have that, and normally the defense is more advanced than the offense. But this is in reverse. The offense has the most continuity because the offense hasn't really changed too many pieces. Not that many pieces besides the offensive line, and that's due to injury and the insert of CeeDee Lamb. That's the only thing that has really changed the offense. And you have your same offensive coordinator from last year to help smoothen the transition on offense with a new offensive head coach. Okay, with the defense, you have 8 new players starting, a new defensive coach, new defensive line coach, new defensive back DB coach. you got everything new, and they are trying to implement their defensive scheme and lingo to these players that has been professionals for 2 to 3, I'm gonna say 3 to 4 years for some, besides the rookies, okay? And they had no preseason, and right now, you've heard this being said before. The teams with the most stability has the advantage when you're talking about as far as changes. And Dallas could not have been caught in this cycle with the COVID in the current situation that we in, that caused them not to have a preseason and OTAs and all of that. This is just bad timing, and I'm not making no excuse, because they are professional players on that field that, to me, don't that looks like they're not putting in the study time in their craft and knowing and honing their position in this defensive scheme, because fundamentals, tackling and stuff like that. Okay, that's why I said they didn't have the preseason to, I guess, sharpen their skills. But yet you're a professional, so you should know how to tackle any damn way. Some things should just be coming natural as a defensive player, because that's all that you are paid to do since you entered the league. Since you entered the league, that's all you're being paid to do, is to be a professional player at your position, professional player as a team. And the most side that really needs to communicate is the defensive side, so everybody can be on key. And to think about this, besides the running game of the Cleveland Browns, besides the running game, through the air was basically all trick plays. All trick plays and short field, because of the 2 turnovers. It wasn't through the air. They pounded us, got it through the air with Landry. Then they did the run around at the end of the game, the reverse with Odell. Trick. We keep falling for the fucking trick. Excuse my language. We keep falling for the trickery every time. The play action, the trickery, play action. That's what allowed Baker Mayfield to get those passes off. Besides the one the other touchdown he missed with Odell Beckham. I think that was like third quarter or something like that. One of those quarters. It was second half. That's what I know. Okay. So that was that's all. And y'all calling for Mike Nolan. Now I'm gonna say this though. I am gonna say this. And I thought that we would definitely show improve this week, or this past week, should I say. Uh, I didn't think the 2 turnovers what happened again in the first half. Like, it's been an ongoing thing. We're being haunted by the same mistakes and all of that, of turning the ball over. And the strip sacks fumble. Some of these plays should not have been called, like that play for the strip sack fumble on that Myles Garrett made on Steele. You got an undrafted rookie, and you knew it was going to be a matter of time before you knew that Myles Garrett, that's on Dak a little bit right there. You should always be pointing out their sack arcs, because they was moving them around from side to side. You know, should have always been noted, and should have had Zeke or whoever change the play, or whatever, because that play just took too long. Dak saw it coming, but he was trying. It looked like he saw it. I can't really say that he did, but it looked like he saw it, but tried to get rid of the ball sooner, but had no way to throw it, or saw something late and then tried to throw it, but unfortunately Myles Garrett got to him first. Okay, so that's just my speculation on that. Now, I will always get the yawning. I always yawn when I'm doing this, man. It is what going forward. I will say this possibly. This is the first quarter of the season. I'm not saying that these games are going to be easy on the schedule going forward because we're playing some of our division rivals, the Giants, Philly, the Giants and the Redskins are coming up. Plus, we got Philly on the docket. But we got some very, very tough teams as well. Like I think we got Baltimore, the Cardinals. You saw they came back and won it. I think they came back and won it. Yeah, against Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So who's to say the Giants after Week 4 won't turn it around? Who's to say that Washington won't turn it around, because Washington got one of the most dominant front sevens in the league, you ask me. And we know what they can do. We know what they can do, and we know that you can throw it all stats out the window when they play in the Cowboys. It's going to be a whole different level of gameplay because we're playing against a rival. Okay, our ultimate rival team within the division. You can say all of them are, but definitely the Washington Redskins. And then you talking about the Giants. You talking about Jason Garrett. So he's going to try to dial up his best plays. He's going to try to cook up a nice playbook for Danny Dimes, so they can be successful playing against us without Saquon. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna give it their all. And Philly, they just showed some resilience due to all the turnovers that the quarterback made for the 49ers too, just kind of throwing the ball right at Philly. To be honest with you, he threw back-to-back picks. Damn, I mean, how you expect to win that game? But still, it came down to the wire. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So we don't know what teams actually are going to turn the tide into this next 4 weeks of October that we have. These because right now, any given thing can happen, and so that can go for us too. That these guys buckle down on defense, start studying more, start studying film more, not just the other team, but in what they are supposed to be doing in certain defensive sets. Everybody knowing their position, knowing their coverage, whether if it's knowing what gaps they're supposed to fill, doing a blitz or a run stop. So yeah, I mean, this is what right now we are. What we are. We're 1-3. That's what we are. And just like that, those yards don't mean nothing if it doesn't equate to a win. If it doesn't equate to wins, what are those stats for? Now, that's going to help me roll right into what I'm going to talk about next, and this narrative that sports media has been driving for Dak. As we can hear it now with the loss and all of that stuff, I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play a clip from 3 years ago with Shannon Sharpe. Talking about Dak Prescott, right? Okay, just to help bring my point across, and I hope y'all can hear this. So it's just a short. I'm gonna play a snippet of it. Okay.
2 points. Oh, see, I see what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do, it is not working. Whether I picked them by half a point, they got destroyed. 42 to 17. I told you their defense was average at best. The best defense for the Cowboys.
I gotta stop. That's how bad that. This is 3 years ago. That's how bad. This is how long how bad our defense have been all this time. But anyway, let me play it a little more.
Their offense and with Zeke, this is why every general manager. This is why when they have these polls and they say Zach, if this is where he ranks, then how can you say he's better than this? Because everybody knows that offense goes as Zeke Elliott goes, and when he doesn't go, the Cowboys blow. You know that. I know that.
I don't know that, but go ahead.
Okay, well tell me why. Okay. You know what? I don't even want to talk. No.
Keep going.
No, we got no.
It's your day.
No, I don't want to
get it all out of your system now.
No. Zeke Elliott had 9 carries for 8 yards.
He did.
Dak Prescott is that guy. You said he's that guy. Why didn't Dak do more yesterday? It's your floor. Go ahead.
Sure you're through?
No. Because you keep interrupting me, so you go ahead and do your thing.
You talk.
No, you go ahead and do your thing. I'll come back later.
Okay. Now, just in case you didn't hear that, that was when the Cowboys lost to the Denver Broncos 3 years ago. Denver beat Dallas 42-17. Zeke only had 8 yards, 9 yards rushing, and Dak only threw for, I think it was like maybe 200 and something yards, 2 INTs. Now, see, and Shannon said there, Dak didn't do more, right? Like throw for more, if he's supposed to be that guy, he's supposed to take over that team by throwing more. That's when it was, Zeke was doing his thing. Dak was throwing for no more than 250 yards a game, and they would get the W, right? And it was Zeke's team, right? As he said, the team goes as Zeke goes, and when Zeke don't go, Dallas blows. They blow the game, okay? Right? Right. Okay. Now I can go to a one today. I go to the one today with Shannon. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where was it? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna do if I can find it. Let's see. Everything's coming up old school, right? For
What is the biggest reason that the Cowboys lost?
This is today.
Jason Garrett fault.
Because
for the last 4 years I've been up here at this desk and for perpetuity. 8 Nate. That was somebody done because all that man Jason 8 Nate Garrett. Why is this team unprepared? Why is this team fall behind? It's Jason Garrett fault. Well, Jason Garrett is not there, and guess what? They fall behind by larger numbers now than they ever did with Jason Garrett.
Okay, I will agree with him on that. This team starts off very slow. It's like these guys do not come ready to play. They don't come ready to play until the second half. I don't know what the hell they doing from practice up until game time, the first half. Like, but they took the lead in the first half. Those 2 turnovers and they scoring off those 2 turnovers. I think they went on the 21-0 score. They're talking about the Browns. But it was 14-7. They had the lead, but they turned the ball over. See, that kicks us in the ass. But yes, we have had an issue of slow starts, and that's going back to the Jason Garrett regime. But let me continue.
Down by 27 heading to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Down by 15 or 16 against Seattle. Down by 19 to the Falcons.
Yep.
Again, your guy, this is a classic example of empty calories. Because let me tell
Ding.
you what your guy did when the score was tied 14-14. 14-14, the score was tied. Dak Prescott went 8 of 15, 53 yards. He lost the fumble. 5 drives, 0 points, 5 total first downs. But everybody's talking about, man, did you see Dak, what Dak did do for 500? Meaningless. You're done.
I'm gonna stop right there. This is what I'm talking about with sports media, and you can go on Get Up, you can go here on Skip and Shan, you can probably go on Speak for Yourself because you're gonna hear it there too. You're probably gonna hear it on First Take. You're probably gonna hear it on every game day, everything. You're probably gonna hear it. Good Time This Morning. All of them going to speak the same thing. First, it was Dak not doing enough by not throwing enough in his earlier years, his first 2 years. Now it's Dak throwing too much, and they're empty calories. They keep switching the goalposts, and now they want that. And then they're gonna talk about that, and with his wanting the $40 million per year quarterback salary, and with his whole contract situation. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do this, and maybe it's a blessing and a curse because Dak plays for one of the most popular teams in all of sports, to be honest with you. And maybe that's the problem. And I think that is a problem because all this before the season even started, even if they thought that they was going to have a season, so they kept talking like they was going to have a season when everything was going to be finalized. If they was going to have a season, no preseason, all that stuff happened. What has been the talks of what? CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, the 1,000-yard 1,000-yard wide receivers, Super Bowl, and all of this. Like, I hate all of that talk when we don't even know for sure of what's going to happen. And now look at us. Now everybody's bagging on this team. Why? Because this is the most talked about team in all of sports, to be honest with you. I mean, because you look at the offseason, and how much ammo they have for all of the contracts, the Byron Jones and the Dax, of course. You know what I'm saying? The free agent signings and everything, what they was building up, they was loading up to make a Super Bowl push. Okay? And not signing Dak to all coming all the way down to the franchise tag, the deadline and stuff, July the 15th, where Dak had to sign, and all of that crazy stuff, man. And this is it's publicity is publicity, good or bad. It's publicity, and you can make money off it. You know what I'm saying? One way or the other, because if it's bad publicity, it keeps Dallas relevant, okay, to up and coming new fans and the people that's entering the sports world for the first time, and starting to learn about professional football, watching it and all that stuff. If it's good, it's even better. Okay, it's even better. Why? Because that's going to generate more revenue. Bring in jerseys and all that stuff. These casual fans start, becoming fan favorites of the Cowboys. Because why? Because they always being talked about in the media, whether it's good or bad. But this is kind of bought on this whole thing with Dak. And now 2016, 2017, he only threw but 250 yards. And that was a problem. Now he's throwing for 500 something yards in consecutive games. And it's still a problem. He's still not doing enough. Well, Dak, he needs to go back there and play safety. Dak needs to be on the defensive line trying to get sacks. Dak needs to be the right tackle and replace Steele and also hike the ball to himself and throw the damn football too. Because the Cowboys are always going for. If you listen to what Shannon was just saying after I just played it, those 5 drives that staled out, it's because they was going for 50. They started 50 yards or more. They started 50. They started like at the 75. They had 75 yards to push the ball, and they threw it because they was down. So with the more throws, you know you're gonna be more susceptible to throwing an interception, and that damn near threw about 4 of them. Shannon is correct about that. But that's what's gonna happen when you're down. So they're not empty calories because he got them back into the game with those throws, and some of them could have been intercepted, but they weren't. So you can't even count them. They was incomplete. They were incomplete passes. Simple as that. So these sports media narratives are eating off the Cowboys, eating off of that success or lack of success. And then that sways people, the fans, to either love Dak or hate Dak, especially those that don't know football. They just a fan of the Cowboys. Period. Period. So could Dak have done some more things? Yes, he could have. I mean, he could have been more aware of the strip sack fumble. But that shit happens in the game. There's no margin of error because the defense can't stop nobody. And it's on those professional defensive players to know their keys, to know basic fundamentals of football. Tackling is one of them. You should not have to teach a professional football player on how to tackle, on how to take angles. Are they human? Yes. Shit like that happens when you're talking to football is an emotional sport, particularly on the football on the defensive side. It's an instinctive game on the defensive side of the ball. So emotions are involved, but also being able to keep your wits about you is very important. So people want to talk about Mike Nolan. What happened with Mike Nolan was with the Ravens, and look at how sharp that defense was. Why? Because they had sharp players on that defensive team. When you talk about Ray Lewis, when you talk about Ed Reed, when you talk about what's the other guy's name? Damn, he was the defensive end. And was it Saragusa? Yeah. You talk about all the everybody was on point because of Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis set them down, and they did the extra study of film, and that's what I see from our Cowboys defensive team. Those guys just come into the facility, they sit down with the coaches, they go over the game plan, and to me, that's it. Nobody's taking home. Nobody's going home to do homework. That's it. And this is all on Dak. And then, as you can hear, I think Irvin has said something like that, where it's all on Dak if he wants to get that type of money. He want to be paid in the upper echelon, but the defense could help him a little bit. So if it's all on Dak, then he don't need no defensive help, right? But then he wanted to clear it up and say, the quarterbacks that throw over 40 times a game and win are Mahomes, Brady, Brees, and Russell. Okay. But why they're able to do that is because their defense are making stops. Dak is not throwing for 40 plus, he's throwing for 50 plus. The last 2 games. For 50 plus. So going forward, I don't even know who's up next. Who's up next weekend? I guess I'll make another. Possibly I'll make another video for that. I might just wait till after the game and just let everybody, all the sports narrative, sports media, heads, do their narrating spew on our Cowboys. But all I gotta say is hold on, guys. This could get ugly. I could say hold on, guys, that we could see something in the making at the same time. Just some slight adjustments defensively. I don't know if they got to dumb it down and all that stuff. I don't know. These guys, they shouldn't have to dumb it down. They are full-time football players. Full-time football players. Their job is to work on their craft, study game film, and be ready to play when the lights are on. That's for offense and defense. The slow start. How about getting better field position for the offense? And I'm talking about special teams. How can we get some better field position? Can we not start on the average the 23-yard line for once? Can we get to the 30? Can we get to the 35? I really thought Pollard was going to explode in that department on kickoffs. CD has gotten some good yardage, but particularly in kickoff, can we get some better blocking so that Pollard can do his thing? I'd like to see more from him offensively, period. But I definitely think we need to really get to this running game. When we get the lead like we did 14-7, and I know we tried to do the running game, but Zeke fumbled, right? Zeke fumbled. Zeke need to hold on to that ball because I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, you keep fumbling the ball, bro. It's not helping. It's not helping. It looked like we don't made that. We're gonna make that change. Put Knight in at right tackle over Steele. I think that'll be a good move. Hopefully Tyron just can stay healthy. So we got 2 weak links on our offensive line, Williams and Knight, but hopefully it'll do better. And I'm saying if Williams keeps showing he's always falling and stuff like that, I would put Looney in. To be honest with you, I would put Looney at left guard. That's just the move that I would make. I don't know, but tell me, what do you think? Leave some comments, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for Tone Setter Sports Channel as we go through this tumultuous season so far, and things could turn around for the better or for the worse. I don't think it's necessary to try to make any changes in coach as far as Mike Nolan, because it's not all on Mike Nolan. He can only teach the players, communicate with the players. It's up to the players to understand, to receive that knowledge and what he wants run and how we want it ran. But they got to have some kind of mental acumen to be able to receive the knowledge and display it on the field. And when it comes to the fundamentals of defense, that's on them. That is on them, to be honest with you. But anyway, this is Anthony Fallon, Tone Setter Sports Channel. We'll talk about some more Cowboys later. Peace.